Hey guys, before we get into today's show, I want to remind you that we are having a live show on July 8th in Washington, D.C. We're super duper excited about this live show. We want you guys to come out, meet us in person, see the show in person, network with other Black girl bosses, get all of your questions answered. We have freebies, goodies, giveaways, a bunch of awesome stuff. So make sure you definitely come out and have a good time with us. Tickets are available right now. They're selling out fast, so make sure you get your ticket ASAP at www.blackgirlbosses.com. Enjoy the show.
Work hard for what you want in life.
You work hard for what you want in life.
That your word is your bond, that you do what you say you're going to do.
That your word is your bond, and you do what you say.
That you treat people with dignity and respect.
That you treat people with respect.
Reach of your dream and your willingness to work hard.
The strength of your dreams and your willingness to work for them.
Work hard,
work hard,
work hard,
work hard.
Hey guys, I'm Tatum.
And it's your girl, Milan.
And welcome to episode 23.
You almost messed up. I almost got you.
Whatever. Episode 23 of the Black Girl Boss Podcast. Whoop, whoop, whoop. So today we're going to be talking about some do's and don'ts when it comes to the Black Girl Boss lifestyle. So we got a nice little list. I don't know if this is like us just writing down our frustrations or this is like a real list. I think it's like half venting, half like serious. So bear with us for this one because this one is a little silly. So before we get into the do's and don'ts, I want to talk about my week for a second.
Okay.
So as y'all know, like we coming off of Memorial Day weekend, and for some reason, this week just wasn't it for me. Like, this week has just not been it for me. Like, I'm normally so on it. Like, I'm up on time. Like, yeah, this is the process of how I do my weeks, right? So I set my goals for the week. I talk to my accountability partners on Sundays. We tell each other our goals. After I set my goals for the week, I break down, so y'all know each day I work on a different brand. Monday is the Queen and Group. Tuesday is the youth program. Wednesday is the podcast. Thursday is admin. Friday is supposed to be a self-care day. But if I got to work that day, then I got to figure that out. So I made my goals for the week, but I didn't. Oh, so in addition to like breaking down what day I work on what, I plan out my days by hours. So in my little calendar, 5:30, gym, 7, pray, eat breakfast, do this, do that. Like all the little tasks that goes into me accomplishing my goals gets broken down by hour throughout my day. I didn't feel like doing none of that this week. Like I didn't feel like doing any of it. Like I set my goals for the week and that's when it stopped. Monday, I didn't feel like doing anything. Tuesday, I didn't feel like doing anything. Like Tuesday, I was just like, you know what? This week is over for me. So I'm about to just collect my things. No, this was Wednesday. This is yesterday. I was like, this just isn't my week. So I'm about to collect my things and go to the pool. And that's exactly what I did. And I went and I chilled at the pool. And that was that. Today, I took care of some things. I knocked some things off my personal list of things to do. But like, this has just not been my week. And I wanted to talk about it. Like, I don't have no deep solution for this right now. I don't have no like super life lesson from this. I wanted to talk about it while I'm in the midst of not feeling like doing anything because I want people to understand like you get tired. You know what I mean? Like you get tired on this entrepreneurial journey. You don't always feel like doing anything. And sometimes it's like, that's where I am right now. I'm like kind of giving into my feelings. And this is not something I need to be doing. So I wanted to talk about it too, because I'm handling this wrong. So I'm identifying the fact that I'm handling this wrong. And I guess I do have a lesson out of it. Like one of like the devil's strategies to knock you off your course, I'm learning, is to have you give into your emotion. So my emotions of I don't feel like doing this, I've given into them. So I haven't been as productive as I normally am. Now, when I say I haven't been as productive, I'm comparing myself to myself. I'm like a productivity person. Like, I get things done. And I still got things done this week. So if you look at what I have done, you'd be like, you're crazy. But compared to Tatum on a normal day, like, this just isn't it, because I'm just so freaking tired. But, you know, we all have those days. And that's why I really wanted to bring that up, because this is just one of those weeks for me. And like I said, I don't really have no super deep resolution for that. I don't have no lesson. Maybe next week when I get back into a super deep mood. But right now, I'm just tired and I don't feel like doing anything. But we still record the show. Y'all still gonna get this show on Monday. But I just don't feel like doing anything. I don't know. Milan, how's your week been going?
My week was just crazy. It was stupid. So Tuesday, I went to the dentist and I got my teeth cleaned. I had a deep cleaning. First of all, I had an infection in my gums. Like, that was really weird. But it wasn't hurting or anything. But you know how dentists be lying and saying stuff. Because if you have an infection in your gums, which I had when my wisdom teeth was coming in, you would know. So I don't think I had an infection. My gums may have been inflamed. But I don't think it was an infection. Because, like I said, my gums weren't hurting. They weren't any different color. They were just regular pink and stuff, like they're supposed to be. So they're scraping away, and they scrape off the molding on my retainer. So now my retainer is, like, all loose and fugly and just hanging. So I had plans on going to work that day, and that didn't happen because I had to hurry up and go to the orthodontist so they could fix my my retainer. So my client had asked me to look at our current one sheet for their company and to tell him what needed to be fixed and whatever. But of course I couldn't do that because my computer was at home. So I'm like, okay, I got you. He's like, but I need it done by 12. So I'm like, all right, I can do that. So I got to the orthodontist like 11:10. I didn't leave there until 12:30. That's how long I was sitting in the orthodontist. So, of course, I was, like, so upset because I felt like I disappointed my client. And he was already having a frustrating day with everything that he had going on, just planning for the trip that he took today for business and everything. So I was just, like, really, really frustrated. So, luckily, I was able to still look at it in time because it wasn't being printed until 5. So I did make some changes and give him what he needed. So everything was, to be handled. But it was just stupid because ideally I didn't plan my day like that. I was supposed to be at work, which means I could have been in front of a computer. So that was just, like, threw me off. Wednesday was actually pretty lit. I take that back from being stupid. That day wasn't stupid because I listened to Every Day Be Lit by Wife and Lucci and P&B Rock the whole way to work. So it gave me this, like, ego boost to go into work and be like, you can't tell me, that's how I had it in my head playing. So I really didn't care what was going on because I was just in my world about, rolling all on my wrist. So I was lit at work that day. I was getting all my work done, not my work for the government, but, like, my work for the company. So I was getting all that stuff done. Thursday, which is today. No, wait, today Wednesday? Today's Thursday. Dang, I'm tired, y'all. So today's Thursday. We released this on Monday, right? So today, my supervisor, my team leader, comes in and she gives me a stack of papers like the size of Webster's dictionary. And she's like, I want you to write down the name, the case number, the agency, and the date. I said, why? Because I need it for inventory. Why? Like, don't we got a scanner that can scan the computer? Like, why? She wanted me to literally handwrite this, not type it on the computer, but handwrite it. She gave it to me at 10:30. She comes back at 11 o'clock. I have a picture, too. So if y'all want to see the picture, I'll post it on the Insta story so y'all can see me so y'all know I'm not lying. She comes back at 11 o'clock and says, you finished yet? And let's keep in mind, when she gave this to me, y'all, she came with, I was eating, I had just got my bagel, and she came and she's like showing me this, all the paperwork next to me with my bagel in my face. So that already irritated me, so that was stupid. And then on top of that, I just had a whole lot of stuff I had to do. So I was like battling between that all day long. And then it's just been a really long week, and it's just been stupid. And then I had discovery calls. I had like 3 discovery calls set up, and I was sitting on there for 5 minutes by myself listening to this man sing about how it's a lonely conference and the man sat on the call all day and ain't nobody come. It was so annoying. So with that being said, I was so frustrated because I sat there and I could have been doing other stuff with my life, but I sat and made these, scheduled these appointments and discovery calls. Nobody showed up. So here we are talking about
Nobody from all of them?
like what day was this? So from Sunday to now. Sunday now, the Sunday one didn't show up but came Monday.
Mm-hmm.
The other Monday one didn't come at all, and he didn't come last Thursday. And then the one yesterday didn't come. But one came today.
So we're going to get to that. But before we get to that, though, like, how did you balance, like, all of that chaos that was going on in your personal life as well as, like, with your boss and stuff like that? Like, how did you balance that so you could still show up for those discovery calls and get stuff done in your business and not be like a lazy bum like I was all week?
So as far as like discovery calls and everything, so my environment that pays me definitely was my motivation to get on the discovery calls, because I knew how frustrated and annoyed I was just being in that environment. I'm like, no, I got to be on these discovery calls because I need to land these clients so I can replace this income so I can quit this 9-to-5. So like that's what the motivation was to even get on a discovery call. And as far as like going to the 9-to-5, I'm like, I just need a paycheck right now to just keep putting in, investing money into my business so I can just leave and roll out. And then I don't have that much longer anyway. So at this point in time, I really in the back of my mind, I'm like, F it anyway. So I don't know, that balance, like I said, just came from just knowing what the ultimate goal is and just knowing I had to push myself. And why F and Lucci, I lied to you not, literally helped all week. That's all I listened to on the way and on the way home.
I'm gonna put the link to that song in the show notes, because if you didn't text it to me, I wouldn't even know where to begin to find that song. I'm like, who are these people? How do I spell that? Where do these names come from with these rappers? But that is like a song that gets you pumped up.
It makes you feel good, like, yeah. Because if you think about your company and you built it ground up, y'all will get it if y'all know the song or if you listen to it. But yeah, it makes you feel good, and then you think about the concept of it. So yeah, that definitely helped.
I think that's definitely an important note, though, for everybody who just feel like their job is just draining them. Like, because I was there a very short time ago when your job feel like it's draining you for everything that you got, and you got to take care of stuff. You got to take care of your personal life, and you got to make sure that you show up for the people that's relying on you in your business, and you got to make sure that you do what you got to do to grow your business. Like, it is a lot. But you doing those things, like listening to those and pumping yourself up and using that frustration as motivation, like that's so important.
Yeah, it is. So I'm good now. My week is over because tomorrow's gonna be Friday, guys, and I'll be in Atlanta. So
okay,
good. I'm comfortable. I'm happy now.
So let's go right into some do's and don'ts. So like I said, this topic was probably birthed out of like both of our frustrations just with a lot of things that's been going on the last week or so. But I think it's really important to note, though, some of those do's and don'ts when it comes to the Black Girl Boss lifestyle. So the first thing, we talk a lot about like connections, following up with people, building relationships. Like we've talked a lot about that when it comes to the show and stuff like that. Like the last few weeks we've covered this stuff, but we want to reiterate again, when you're reaching out to people or you are building relationships with people, or if you're just communicating with people in general, when it just in general, make sure that you follow up with people. Like people will forget about you. Like it's people who like reach out to me and I'll forget. And then I'll like remember like, dang, such and such reached out to me like 2 months ago. But then I'll be like, I should probably reach back out. And I'm like, but why they didn't follow up with me? Like they reached out to me for something. I forgot because it wasn't on my little meticulous schedule that I make for myself every day. So it's like, all right, well, if they don't care enough to follow up with me, then I'm not about to follow back up with them. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I'm saying like way too much. It's because it's late. But yeah, so you guys make sure that you're following up with people when you're reaching out to them and you're trying to build those relationships. Because at the end of the day, when you have a business, everything that you do is a reflection of your brand and your business. Everything. Mm-hmm. Every single thing. And you leave an impression no matter what you do. So especially in the beginning where you're still like introducing yourself to the world and you still introducing your product and your business to other people, like you got to really make sure that you're putting your best foot forward consistently. Next,
Absolutely.
next, I want to definitely talk about like give before you ask. This is the same. It's so funny because this is the same thing when it comes to marketing and putting your business out there. You got to give away stuff for free before you ask people to invest their money. But if you
Mhm.
asking people to invest their time, their knowledge, and all of that, you got to give before you ask for stuff. You know what I'm saying? Like it's
Mhm.
people who I reach out to that I know that I want to have a relationship with, or I know that I want to work with them one day. But I'm reaching
Mhm.
out to them way before I even, need them because I just want to build that relationship organically and be of service and be, if I got to be, like I said last episode, if I got to be an assistant for the day, like that's what I'm going to do. And mind you, me being an assistant for the day, I realized something about myself. I make a hell of an assistant. Like, I'm a great assistant. I got there early. I'm going to make sure I unload the car. I'm setting up the table. Tressa was speaking, so I got the mic. I'm running. Make sure everybody got whoever got questions, get the mic so they can answer it. Let her know when her time up. I was like, afterwards, I was like, dang, I'm a pretty good assistant. If this black girl boss thing don't work out for me, I could be somebody. I could be somebody assistant one day.
Ain't nothing wrong with being
But
an assistant.
yeah,
They fun.
for real. And Tressa's so cool anyway. We were talking a little bit while the crowd died down some, and she was like, if you ever need anything, all you gotta do is reach out to me. I was like, girl, you ain't said nothing but a word. I
Mhm.
ain't gonna reach out to you no time soon because I'm trying to figure out, what would be the best platform. I want to interview her. Like that's what I want to do, period. But just trying to figure out if the podcast or like my YouTube channel that y'all see come out pretty soon is the best platform for that. But I'm like, I've volunteered with her or reached out to her and built that relationship with her for some time now. So just prove that you're of value before that you start asking for things for people.
Absolutely.
Okay, so this is one that has grind my gears for people who reach
Uh-oh.
out to us for the show. You have to understand who you're reaching out to and their brand.
Mhm.
There's been people who reached out to us to be on the show where the publicist will send us like this bio of the person and send us like stuff they're promoting. You have never heard a guest on our show come over here to promote something. That's not what we do. We're a podcast about the journey of entrepreneurship. So we ask people about the journey of entrepreneurship, or if they're an expert on certain topics, whether it be finance or whatever the topic may be, we're going to ask them questions around that. Then we might at the end give them an opportunity to be like, how can people get in touch with you? But we never have nobody on the show that has like a book that just came out and then they're like, this is my book. Everybody go to such and such and buy my book, or everybody go on such and such and buy. Like that never happens. We've never done that on purpose. That's not what this show is. So why would you reach out to us and be like, I have this show coming out. Can I come talk about it? No. But if you reached out to us and said, hey, I have an interesting story, or this is my client and their story is such and such, yada, yada, yada. Can they come and talk to y'all? Then we will probably have them talk to us, and then we will say, so what do you have going on? But then if you do your job as an interviewee, then you're able to work in the things that you have into that normal conversation without it being totally about promoting you. Like that's not what this show is about at all. If you want to be promoted by ad, send us an email. They're available. So definitely, don't just hop on here like, hey, I'm about to go on the Black Girl Boss podcast and sell out all of my Kylie Jenner lip kits. Like, no, it's not happening.
Right.
Next, what do we have? Okay, here's some don'ts when it comes to reaching out to people too. Oh, I already talked about that. Okay, we can skip over those. Milan, you want to cover this next one?
So, what to do if you are running late to a meeting or know you're not going to show up? Not even what do you do. What you don't do is you don't wait until after the meeting is over to send me an email 2 hours after the fact and say, oh, yeah, I totally forgot about the meeting, BTW. Or, yeah, something happened and I thought about it, but I got really caught up. And no. That's not right. What you do is, even if you have, so if I'm busy, I'm wrapped up, I know that I'm in, quote unquote, in class and class is running over, I'm going to send an email. If I have your number, I'm going to send you a text. Hey, I'm running behind. Are you available to reschedule later on this evening? Or, what's the proper process? Don't send that 2 hours later after you have wasted somebody's time and they're sitting there, because 9 times out of 10, they're fired up. They're red flames. They're pissed. Mm-hmm. So when you send them that email, they're probably going to tell you that they don't want to work with you or the opportunity has surpassed. And you can't do anything but bite that bullet, because now you burnt that bridge, because, again, you wasted their time and then you took forever to follow up. Like I said, you may not, if it's an emergency and something happened right then and there, you may not be able to follow up right at that single second. But don't wait 2 hours, 5 hours. No, that's unacceptable. That's highly unacceptable. Now, it's a situation where, like, somebody died or it was like that, and you send an email, somebody's going to be understanding. But if you give somebody a BS reason to why you missed it, I need to find the email so I could read it. It was just like, we completely forgot about the call. That means you weren't serious in the first place.
I think that's an important point, though. When for everybody that's listening, when you're just dealing with people in general, like, you really have to be mindful of people's time, especially us, Black girl bosses, solopreneurs, people who are out here growing their businesses to take care of themselves. Like, our time is money. You know what I mean? And same thing for you. Your time is money. I know you wouldn't want nobody to waste your time. So it's the same thing. And what happens is when you get into these situations where you're not showing up for calls, you just being negligent when it comes to things that you commit to, then you start to burn bridges. Like, I know for me, I have a lot of leeway. If somebody has a call with me, I'm not going to stay on longer than 5 minutes. But after the 5 minutes, I'll send an email to let them know how they can reschedule, just because I know things happen, things come up. I've been in situations where stuff has come up with me. So I get it. But I would expect, you either reschedule or respond and say, hey, Tatum, I'm so sorry. And a lot of people have done this. With me, they'll be like, hey, I'm so sorry. It's just a lot going on right now. Like, I understand. It could be a scary thing to talk to somebody about your business when you're not happy with where your business is. And I know it's a vulnerable thing to talk to somebody and let them in on what's going on in your life and business. Like, I totally understand. But that you have to be a communicator. Like, you can't be in business if you're not going to be a communicator. And there's even been situations with me where there's been people who will schedule a call with me, don't show up, respond to my emails, though, like my newsletter emails, blogs and stuff that I send out. Schedule another call, don't show up. Reschedule the call. This has really happened, and, like, don't show up.
So
then,
how many times do you allow somebody not to show up? Until, like, you just, like, tell them. I said, like, how many times do you allow somebody not to show up? Not saying just, like, for you, but just in general. Like, how many times do you let somebody not show up before we as business owners kind of, like, block them from even joining our programs or becoming a client? Because if you reschedule so many times, what are you going to do? Try to reschedule your payments? You're going to back out your sign a contract and never, like, answer the phone? Like, that's, like, the perception that you're putting out. So it's like, what do we do? When is it enough that we say, okay, no more?
Yeah, right now, like, I haven't even come up with that number yet for myself of how much leeway I would give somebody. But I know I remember everything, though, when it comes to people. So it's like, if I'm going to know that you've skipped out on my calls like 6 times, like, I'm going to know. And, like, this ain't one of the people who's done it to me before will even reach out to, like, partner on something. Why would I partner with you on something if you can't even come to a call? Like, so I'm going to give you more of my time to waste? Like, that's not going to happen. But then it was like, so do you think I just don't remember that you don't show up for these calls? Or, like, what? I'm not going to take you off my email list because that takes more of my time to go remove you from the list. So you can stay on the list, but just, like, that bridge is burnt. So now this may be bad on my part, but even maybe like 20 years from now, if you reach out to me, I'll probably still be like, nah. Because 20 years ago, you had me on the phone 6 different times and you ain't show up. No, the bridge is burnt. Sorry. Okay, and that might not be good. Go ahead.
So I have a question. So if somebody reaches out to you and they're inquiring about your services, are you a prospect or are they a prospect?
I think it's both.
Okay.
And the reason why I say both is because if somebody's going to invest their money in me, I would expect them to be prospecting me too. Because that's what if I'm investing my money in somebody else, I'm prospecting them too. I want to know, I want to interview you and know everything about how you move, just like how you want to know, about my business. Like, I'm paying attention to everything, because if you're going to get this coin, then you're going to deserve it, because I need to know that I'm getting my money's worth out of you. So by technical terms, they're the prospect. But just the way I look at it, I think we're both the prospect, because we need to be a good fit for each other for us to work together. I don't offer my program to everybody I talk to. Right. I only offer it if I think that they're going to be a good fit for me. There are other things I can offer people who I don't think I can work well with, or really guide them to where they want to go. So, I don't know. That's just me.
Okay. And then the next question to that part is, if the person reached out to you and, you set up your Uber conference and everything, and they don't show up, and they tell you, oh, well, I'm used to somebody calling me at a specific number. How do you take that?
I don't take it. I just direct them to their confirmation email that has the login, the dial-in information. Because when somebody schedules a call with me, their confirmation has the login. But then I'll even do like a courtesy, because I understand my people. My people don't always read. So I try to send like a courtesy email about like 10 or 15 minutes before the call starts, and be like, hey, looking forward to talking to you. Just as a reminder, here's the login information or call-in information.
We did that.
Oh, well, girl.
So it's like, I think we're used to prospects calling us at a specific number. You reached out to us. We gave you the number, the call. We called. We did call. Actually, we sat there and nobody came in to call. So we called you at a specific number. You just had to call that number too.
That's crazy. People, man, for everybody out there that's in service-based industries, we may be low-key venting right now, but these are the things that you're going to have to deal with. So if you can't deal with people wasting your time and giving you nonsense reasons, or try to blame you for why they couldn't log into your call, like, get ready. I'll be telling Milan, I'll be like, get used to it. This is going to happen. This is going to keep happening. You're going to have to talk to a whole lot of people. Get used to it.
No, seriously. And then it just goes down to, like, how you damage your brand and business by not following through. Like, those things are very, very important. So let's say, for example, this did happen and I set up the call, or I said, okay, yeah, I'm going to schedule you reached out for your discovery call and I was going to schedule it, but I never scheduled it. And then you have to reach out to me and say, hey, are we having a call or not? That's a bad look on your business, because your client who already reached out, or the potential client reached out, saying that they wanted to work with you and they, wanted to do this, that, and the third. And you said, okay, yeah, that's cool. We're going to set the free 30-minute discovery call, and it's never set up. It doesn't like you even want to have anybody in your business. Just like the same thing with the whole you not showing up to the call. You didn't follow through with, oh, yeah, I'm going to be there. I really want to do this. I'm like Tatum said, she has people hitting her up. Okay, yeah, they're interested in the program, but they're not following through. You said you're interested in my program. Here I am giving it to you, but you're not serious. And now that's damaging your reputation with her, because when you come back again, and yeah, you may be on this call, she's going to be like, but you didn't follow through to even come on the last one. You got to follow through on what you're going to say. So if you say you're going to have an invoice to somebody, you're going to have a contract, you're going to have somebody look over something or have something to them, and you say, yeah, I'm going to have it at 10 o'clock tonight, before this time, they wake up in the morning and there's nothing in their inbox from you, they're going to be like, so did you forget? And then your excuse is, oh, I forgot, or I was too busy. People don't want to hear that. If you're going to make a promise, they're going to say you're going to do something, you have to follow through.
Yeah, exactly. And I think, even though, hairdressers deal with this a lot, even though I'm not really a fan of the whole, give a deposit to secure your appointment thing, I think that is silly. I don't think it's silly. I just don't like doing it. I'm not trying to give you a deposit and show and pay. Let me just come and pay for my hair. I'm going to show up. But I understand, people do that. They'll make an appointment with somebody. They'll secure it. They'll save their spot. and then they just don't show up, then they just missed out on money that they need to pay their bills. Like, and I think that everybody that's listening has to really attack how you deal with people in that mindset. Time is money for entrepreneurs. Like, especially like the ones that's self-employed. Everything that they do needs to be to bring in money. Everything we do needs to be to bring in money to get these bills paid. So that 20 minutes that 30 minutes I carved out to talk to you for free, I could have been recording a training for something else, or I could have been recording a video for one of my new courses that's coming out. Like, there's so much I could have done in 30 minutes, but I sat there like thinking I had a call, was ready to give my undivided attention to it, had my little notes and everything so that I can make sure we make the best out of our time together. And you just don't come. And things happen, like I said, but then it's like you don't even follow up. Like, I had a call Monday. Shout out to KB. And she wasn't able to make the call, but she rescheduled it. She showed up early before me for the next one. And the first thing she said was, "I'm so sorry about the other day." Like, I wasn't even tripping off of it for her because things happen. And the fact that she rescheduled, I knew that she was going to show up. I just had a feeling that she would. But, you know, she was just so I can't talk today. So apologetic about it, you know, and I appreciated that. You know what I'm saying? Because I wasn't even tripping. Like, I don't answer the phone with an attitude because you may have not showed up to a different call. Like, I'm going to be the same person all the time. Right, but my decision if I work with you is contingent on that sometimes. You know what I mean? So I think that you guys really, when you're dealing with people, just make sure that you understand that time is money. Mm-hmm. And I don't think you'll ever really understand it till you're in a point where you really don't have anything to fall back on but your business. So time is of the essence.
It's really money at that point.
Because if I show up late for my Sprint bill, they not talking about it on the podcast. They charging on some late fee.
Girl, I'm so glad you said that because I got to pay my Sprint bill because it is definitely due
tomorrow. You know what?
Cool. I'm so glad you said that. Let me get on that when we finish this podcast, Lord, because guess what? I'll be in Atlanta with no phony phone.
Girl, you don't put your bills on auto pay. Like, what is going on?
Girl, listen, I know. And it's so funny because them loans is on auto pay. Mm-hmm. That's hurtful, though. Them loans is hurtful. You got to put them on auto pay so you don't even see it.
Oh, you see it leave.
You see it leave, but at least it's not like you got to click it to make it leave because then you're going to think about it. Your phone bill, you know, you want your phone on signal. Let me pay this real quick. You going to hit that so your phone on. But them loans, that's a second thought. So, yeah, shout out to Tatum for saying Sprint because y'all, I wouldn't about to have no phone.
That is so funny. So next, you guys, don't ask people to invest in you if you aren't investing in yourself.
Thank you.
So investing is not even just money, but it's time. If you're not putting time in to like just strengthen your craft, but then you want somebody else to teach you everything that they know, no, it doesn't work like that.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like I've encountered this the most with like interns, and it's to the point where it's like they and just people in general, people don't always want to find the answer for themselves before they ask you. Like, and I might just be different because I'm the type where if I have a problem, I'm going to come with like multiple solutions based off of my assessment of the problem. And then if I have like a supervisor, whoever I'm reporting this to that makes the final decision, it's like, all right, so this is what's going on, yada, yada, yada. This is what I think we should do based off that. But what do you think? And then they can let me know. They could either go with one of my answers or they can come up with something else. But the fact of the matter is, I came with solutions. So for y'all career women who listen to us too, that's a good practice to have when you're at work because it shows that you take initiative. But for everybody else, like, don't ask for donations to your business when you have a job. Your job is your first investor. Like I told y'all before, my first job, I made $38,000 a year before taxes. That was ridiculous, but I still started my business. I still got my brand off the ground. I still did everything that I needed to do. I still invested in myself with that little teeny tiny salary. So before I even asked anybody else for anything, before I asked my parents, could they help me with my payment for my coaching program, they already saw that I've spent so much money on myself already to get me to the point that I was at. So make sure that you invest in yourself before you ask other people. Just like we hate to see GoFundMe's up for funerals. I hate to see GoFundMe's up for business, because I feel like if you was really about your business and building your brand, you would figure it out. You would come up with whatever you're asking for, or even say, you know, I put $20,000 into this business. I need the last 5 or whatever. Just always invest in yourself before you ask anybody else to invest in you. The next one is, when it comes to just being a Black girl boss, make sure that you treat people well. This is a do. Treat the assistant how you treat the CEO. Everybody needs to be treated with respect. Like, I've been in situations where I might have been like volunteering somewhere just because I'm either building a relationship with the person, or I just wanted to learn more about what's going on. So this is a quick note for y'all who like want to throw conferences and stuff like that one day. The best way to learn how to do that is to volunteer at a conference. You could really see what's going on in the background. You can see how things are run. You know what I'm saying? So I volunteer at things that I want to do a lot of the times because I like to see. And before I started a youth program, I volunteered with like a few because I wanted to see where the gaps were. And nobody had to teach me anything. I was just going to show up, serve, do my job as a mentor, do the best that I could, but I'm paying attention to the little nuances that's going on because I want to see how I can make my program a great program. Mm-hmm. So in that, I've been in situations when I'm volunteering where people will treat me like terrible just because I'm looked at as just either the assistant, the volunteer, that low level person. And it always cracks me up because it's like, you don't even know who I'm going to become. And I feel the same way. I feel that way about everybody. I'm going to treat everybody with respect because you can be being that person with a startup that or want to start a business and don't know where to start to the CEO of a Fortune 500 company in like a year or two. Like, you can really go from 0 to 100 in your business. And that could come from you working hard. And that could come from God just blessing you like that. Like, that could come from a lot of things. So you got to treat everybody with respect because you never know who they're going to be. In addition to that, like, that's how you create good karma for yourself. That's how good things happen to you because you treat other people with respect. Like, I'm a firm believer that a lot of the positive relationships that I have and a lot of the positive people I attract into my life is because I put that out there. I treat everybody with respect. You know what I'm saying?
You get what you put out.
Mm-hmm. So you guys, as you're going about your journey, and I think this can even be applied to yourself, to be honest, treat yourself with respect and understand where you're going. Just because you may be the assistant right now, just because you may be the person with the business that don't know where to start right now, just because you may be the volunteer right now, that doesn't mean anything. Don't treat yourself like the volunteer. Walk in there with the confidence as if you was the person headlining the show and make sure you get things done. You know what I mean? What your role is doesn't matter. Like, I read something recently. I think it was, her name is Maya Eloise. I don't know how to pronounce it, but she's like a popular blogger. And she sent out an email to her list. I'm not on her list, but somebody posted on Instagram, and she was saying how her brother had asked her if he should propose to his girlfriend or whatever. And what she said to him was like, you know if she's a wife or not. You giving her a ring doesn't make her a wife. She's a wife already before she has a title. She's a wife in how she acts. She's a wife in how she treats you. She's a wife in how she handles things. She's already that. You're just either going to give her the ring or sign that paper or you're not. So if you're second guessing,
make that as a status so I can share it. Make that as a status so I can share it.
I'm not gonna bite her stuff.
That was deep. Or just quote the person. Just quote her.
All right. But yeah, like, you know if she's a wife already. So same thing. You're a boss. You know if you're a boss already. You know what I'm saying? Like, it doesn't matter where you are at that moment. You know if you a millionaire already. I know I'm a multi-millionaire already. I just ain't got all my coins yet. That's all.
Girl, I'm a trillionaire. I can't even count that high. Look. That's how I feel.
So when I'm out here doing stuff like, it doesn't matter what I see right now. Like, that's the thing about faith. It doesn't matter where you are at that moment. It's about that vision that God gave you and that plan that's on your life. Like, that's what you're working towards. So own it. You know what I'm saying? Own that you're a Black girl boss. Own that you're self-employed before you hand in your pink slip. Own that you out here making a difference in the world before you start seeing it. Because listen, you got to treat the assistant like you treat the CEO, and treat yourself like the Black girl boss that you are.
Thank you. Drop mic.
And lastly, is this lastly? No, this isn't lastly. Sorry. So another point is be humble. Always, always, always be humble. And I think the best example of this is like, so when you in high school, and when you a freshman, you just that little freshman. Then when you get to be a senior, like you've been there for 4 years, like you know what's going on, you know everybody, you know your way around the school, you know all your teachers, like you the big person on campus when you're a senior. Then you graduate and go to college, and you're a freshman again. You don't know that many people. It's this huge campus. You that small fish in a big pond. Your head not as big as it used to be anymore. Then you get to a senior. And you get to be a senior at college, and you done been a part of all these organizations, and you done did all these internships. You done got all these jobs before you graduated, and you thought you about to be doing all this stuff. And then you graduate and get into the real world and realize you don't know anything. Like, it's that constant humbling experience over and over again. And it's the same thing in business. I'm not about to be walking around like I did something because I left my job. No, I need to be humble and understand that God has a huge plan for my life, and it's up to me to work hard to be able to get there. I don't care what milestone I reached at that moment. It's about working hard, and I can celebrate things, of course, but I'm not going to get big-headed like, oh, y'all got jobs. I can't relate. I just had a job oh, shoot. I dropped the phone getting all hype about this. I just had a job like last month. You know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah, absolutely.
So I think it's the same thing. Like, you just got to make sure you humble yourself, because when you get too big-headed, that's when you lose everything. Like, everything can be taken from you in a second. So don't ever think that you're ever better than anybody because of whatever position that you're in. Like, if you don't take anything from this conversation today, you guys, just be humble. I don't know why Kendrick's song is playing in my head right now, but
I was thinking, I was on Who That Thinking Nettie Frontin' Knowing Man. I was right there, that part. I was ready. I was waiting on my cue, but you ain't rapping, so I just got quiet. But since you brought it up, I had to say it.
Sit down. Be humble.
Be humble. No, but seriously, and I was on Insta Live tonight. I was telling everybody while I was taking my trip to Atlanta. And everyone was like, oh my gosh, your life goals. I said, no, y'all. My goal is to get my life. I'm not life goals. Like, my goal is to get my life. Like, y'all see, like, they see what you put out on social media, and that's why I'm glad I started doing the live. So I really told them, like, the honest truth, like, from why I'm going to Atlanta, what's happening. I'm like, no, like, y'all think that's life goals? No, this is a struggle. Like, my goal is to get my life, so then I can be life goals for myself. Because right now, it's not together. It look good. It's a painted picture, but, I mean, that's all it is. So I guess sharing those moments on Insta Live is definitely, a humbling experience, and just not forgetting where you came from at the end of the day. Like you said, it can all be taken away so fast, and then you'll be back to square one, and then what? So I had said on Instagram Live, like, your greatest grind and hustle comes from being uncomfortable, and the moment that you become comfortable, you are no longer grinding and hustling. Why? Because you think you made it, and that's wrong, because there's always room to grow and get more.
Absolutely. In Charlemagne's book, he talks about how to humble himself, like whenever he feels like, it's too much going on in a big city life and too much success and stuff, how he always goes back to like his mom's house in Moncks Corner and like lays in his bed in his old room in South Carolina, like reads the magazines that he read when he was a kid, dreaming of what life was like outside of South Carolina. And he said that's something that really just keeps him humble. And I do that for myself sometimes too. And it's not to keep me humble, but it's just to keep me working. Like just to take a second. It's something I should have did this week to get out my little lazy rut, but to really realize why I'm doing the things that I'm doing. You know what I mean? Why I started off on this journey in the first place. And something that did help me this week was I fasted for the first time. And in fasting, I just learned so much about where God is trying to take me, but what it's going to require out of me in order to get it. So in a sense of it made me very happy that, okay, my whole life I felt like that I was very different, and different in a good way. Like I've always felt like there was something great about me. And I mean this in the most humble way possible, but I just always felt like it was something about me that it was going to be extremely impactful on a major scale. Like I really cannot explain that feeling, but it was just something I always knew about myself. It was just a matter of figuring out how was I going to get to that greatness, and what type of impact was I going to make. So just in fasting and being mindful and cognizant of things that was being revealed to me in that time, it was just like, I felt good that, okay, I'm not crazy. Like, God did create me to do some great things in this world, and that success is right there waiting for me. But I got some stuff that he wants me to do first. You know what I mean? So that really humbled me a lot this week, because now I have to really, I felt like God was like, when you ever see on these shows when you was in middle school or whatever, and they turn the kid upside down, they shaking him for his lunch money or whatever. I felt like that's what God was doing to me. Just girl, I need you to do these things like this. You need to do X, Y, Z if you think you're gonna be able to handle what's on the other side.
Right. Yeah.
I can't hear you.
Get it together. Now, so he was like, yeah, get it together. He was putting you through a test to see how you was gonna react. Now it's like you see it, you didn't like the feeling of it.
Exactly. So moments like that, so for you guys, I don't know what religion you are, but a way to really humble yourself is to just stop for a second, fast, pray, and really allow God into your business and into your life so that he can really humble you and show you what direction you want to go. Because you might think you got it all together, or you might think that you know exactly what you're doing in your business, or I got this together. I took this class. I'm about to do these strategies. And then he'd be like, nah, don't do none of that. I don't even know what you're talking about. You need to be doing this. That's a humbling experience. So be humble, be humble, be humble. And the last but not least, one thing that you should do every single day of your entrepreneurial journey is make every opportunity a learning opportunity. You should be a student of everything. Your own experiences is the best teacher. You can listen to us and the things that we've done right, the things that we've done wrong, the lessons that we've learned, but your own experiences are going to be those things that you learn from the most. So if it can be as simple as you sent out an email and your click rate or your open rate was only 4%, but then you send out another email and your open rate was 50%. That's a lesson right there. So you need to go and look and see, what did I do in this email that I didn't do in the other one? Or if you're going to Chick-fil-A for lunch and you're trying to figure out why Chick-fil-A line always so long and everybody is always you get the Chick-fil-A, that line is down the street and you're going to sit in it because you want Chick-fil-A. So it's what is it about Chick-fil-A that makes people keep coming back? That's a lesson right there. Is it their customer service? For me, it's their customer service, because I know I'm about to have a good experience with my chicken. Okay, so
their customer service is so lit.
It's so good. So just really think about it. Shout out to Jessica. Her company is called Irregular Exposure, and she's opening up a store in DC. So we're in the same coaching program. And in the mastermind, a couple weeks ago, she was saying how with her store, she wants to create that experience. When you go into the Gucci store, not Saks or nothing, or Neiman's or anything like that, but when you go to the actual store, I can't afford it, so I can't relate. I'm going to put that out there.
Don't know about it, never seen it.
I'm still at Marshall's right now, so whatever. But I'll even go to Nordstrom's, but I'm only staying within my top shop section. Topshop is my budget. I'm not going anywhere else. But she was saying how, like, when you go to the Gucci store, you get champagne, you get greeted by your first name, you get, like, it's this whole experience. But she learned that from that experience that when I open my store, you're going to get an experience when you walk into my store. It's not going to be like a TJ Maxx or Marshalls where you flipping through the racks. You're going to come in and you're going to feel good. Like, this is going to be a real experience for you. So that's just another example of making every opportunity a learning opportunity. So same thing for y'all. If y'all see like a bunch of entrepreneurs doing Instagram lives, like, these are the things I ask myself. I'm like, why are everybody going live all the time? So then I start paying attention. Okay. Why people keep doing all these Instagram stories? Okay, that's because you get more views and engagement on your stories than on your timeline, because Instagram keeps switching up their little algorithm and not telling nobody. Okay, so you really just pay attention to those little nuances. I promise you, you will learn so much if you just pay attention strategically to what's going on. If you go on somebody's website, instead of looking at somebody's website and being like, oh, their website is so nice, I wish my website looked like that. Figure out what's the most functional thing about their website. Like, why is this above the fold as opposed to being closer to the bottom? Like, how can they switch up on, or how is my flow when I'm on their website? So even on your own website, put yourself in the position of your target audience. When somebody clicks on your website, what is the first thing they're going to go to? Why? Do you have something on there to collect their attention? Do you have something to collect their email address? Like, just pay attention. I wish it was a song for pay attention, because I would play it. Just like, really pay attention to every single thing, because every opportunity is a learning opportunity. So instead of Googling it, instead of trying to ask somebody else to teach you ABC about their stuff, just really pay attention to the things that you're doing every single day, because there's so many lessons in that.
Absolutely.
So I think, that's it. Thank you guys so much for tuning in to another episode of the Black Girl Boss Podcast. Definitely, we would love for you guys to join us for our live show on July 8th in Washington, D.C. Get your tickets ASAP, you guys. Tickets are going so fast, and we would love to see you there. You can get the tickets directly from our website at www.blackgirlbosses.com, and it'll also be in the show notes. See you guys soon.